Hi, welcome back to Breaking Bread. I'm Monsignor Jamie, and today we have a special guest, a friend of mine all the way from South America, Arturo Castro.
Hey.
Welcome to Breaking Bread.
Thank you so much for having me, Monsignor. It's a pleasure to be here. I came just for this show, actually.
Nah,
I heard about your cooking, and I was like, you know, my dream as a Guatemalan is to come here and make guacamole with you.
Really?
I talk like that in my head. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, I think you have to go to confession.
Yes, sir. Because I'm completely
But I'm
lying.
so honored to have you here on my show. Tell me a little bit about, where you come from, how long you've been here in the United States.
Yeah, I've been here for 10 years. I'm an actor and a producer. And I moved here from when I was 19 from Guatemala.
Okay.
And I had to get rid of my accent in order to be able to communicate with all of you guys. But yes, I do some really cool work right now with Comedy Central and with some film stuff that we might get into later. But other than that, I'm a professional eater.
Okay.
I eat food a lot, constantly, about 3-4 times a day. So I guess it's a match made in heaven.
It's not a bad thing. Well, that's why you have the show Breaking Bread, because we try to tie in people's backgrounds, their history, and who they are as a person. It's not just about eating. It's about sharing life and sharing experiences. And there's no better place to do that than at the table.
Wonderful, yeah.
So,
I'm really excited.
Today we're going to make a little Mexican dish, guacamole, and I'm sure in your country it's one of your staple foods as well, and it's a popular food. And
it is very popular. In fact, we had avocado trees in my backyard,
wow.
in my garden. So whenever I get in trouble at school, I just come with a pot of guacamole, and it would be all will be forgiven for at least a day.
It's such an easy dish to prepare. And you start off with some guacamole, some avocados.
Okay.
And I have about 6 avocados here. I just cut them in half, took out the pit, and I put some lemon juice, lime juice and lemon juice on top to hold the color.
Okay.
Because right away this will turn brown, so it oxidizes in the air. So I put some lime and a little bit of lemon juice to keep the color in there. And it's a simple dish. You can prepare it ahead of time. You can keep it in the refrigerator. And when people come over, it's a great snack. And it can even fill you up too.
Yeah.
But basically, it's the basic ingredients: avocados. I put a couple of tomatoes here. I just diced them up, took out the seeds. You don't want too many seeds in there because they're not cooking. Half an onion, and I have some cilantro that gives it that distinct taste.
Yeah, I got you.
Right, a little garlic, and then we put some spices, some cayenne pepper, a little spice, and a little cumin, a little kosher salt.
What is this?
Jalapeno.
Oh,
I just diced them up. I took out the seeds, so they're all ready to go.
Fantastic.
And just mix it together. I make this a little different though. After it's done, instead of putting the nachos on the side or the chips on the side, I actually get some pita chips and I break them up and I crush them right into the guacamole.
Oh,
so
okay.
all they have to do is just take it up and
just take it up a little. Eat it. Oh yeah, cool. So you take it with a spoon afterwards, because it's already nice and crunchy.
And that's it.
Fantastic.
So as we get going with this, tell me a little bit about why did you come here to begin with?
Well, I came because I wanted to study acting. I went to an acting conservatory. So in Guatemala, I had my own TV show. It had nothing to do with cooking, but it was kind of like a music show every Saturday. And then I got a scholarship to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Now, where is that?
That's here in Manhattan. That's on 30th and Madison. And so after I learned more or less how to work my craft, I did theater for a long time. And about 4 years ago, I started doing television. And ever since, it's just been such a blessing. You don't understand. Like, when I grew up, there was nobody that looked like me on television. So I didn't know what I could aspire to. So I decided to grow up and be that guy.
So you were a pioneer.
I would hope so, yeah. There's a couple. It's a good time to be Latin in media. I think people are finally understanding that we're not just one thing. But it was a timing thing, but it was also a tenacity thing. And I would be too foolish to think that I've been doing this by myself, because it's like, you don't come from where I come from and achieve what we're achieving now without the hand of God, And so that's why I want to give back to my community, because it's just such a blessing that I can't hoard it. I need to recycle it,
That's great, when people feel that need to give back, because they know everything we do is a blessing from God. It's because of the grace of God that we're here. We're given all the talents and skills that we have because of that. And when we become successful, a lot of times people forget that.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to hear people that really want to give back to the community and help other people with their dreams as well.
Well, it's one of those great metaphors. Is when you make it to the penthouse, just send the elevator back down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because otherwise, chasing fame for fame's sake is empty. I've just shot a major Hollywood film, and I've seen some stars and what. Because when you're famous, reality can be a little askew because people treat you differently and you get away with a lot of stuff. And so if you don't have like a true north or a, compass, a moral compass of sorts, then you're just going to wind up on an empty shell of where you were, an avatar of who you were.
And look what happens. They go astray, and they, unfortunately, they don't have such happy endings.
For sure. But it's more common than you think. I mean, you see it all the time in tabloids and such. But it's because you don't surround yourself with positive people, right? But if your purpose is to achieve fame or power of sorts in order to get back, then that's something, you're fighting for something. Then it's not just about you and the ego, right? It's more about the other people. So I would hope that that's a winning formula. I'll let you know how it goes.
Okay. I think we're going to take a break. When we come back, you tell me a little bit more about your acting career.
Wonderful.
Everything that you're doing and how you're giving back. And we'll finish up
And
with
then
guacamole.
we're gonna chew right into it, right?
I want your taste.
Sweet.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back to Breaking Bread. Welcome back to Breaking Bread, and we're here with a good friend of mine, Arturo Castro from Guatemala, and he's here to help me make a little guacamole. And so far, we have put this together.
Yeah.
We put our avocados in here. I put in some onions, some diced tomatoes, some cilantro, a little bit of garlic, and now I'm going to add a little bit of spice. Some jalapeno peppers. Now, I'm sure in your country you eat a lot of these.
Well, you know what? You'd figure I would, but like Mexican food and Guatemalan food is slightly different. Like we don't use as many jalapenos. We have other sorts of spices. But hot. Yeah, we definitely like hot. In fact, one time we were at this place called Lake Atitlan, which is, on the...
Where's that now?
Lake Atitlan is like on the border, on the east side of the country. It's this beautiful lake. Bono from U2 lived there for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Cat Stevens lived there. It's really nice and magical. We're this like lakeside little, not cantina, but like little diner type of stuff. It's basically just a few chairs. We were eating ceviche. I don't know if you guys know what ceviche is.
Sure.
It's like seafood salad type of thing.
And it's marinated and it kind
Oh
of...
yeah, it's
not raw, but
they cook it with
vinegar,
the lime.
Yeah, and the lime and the acidity kind of cooks it.
Yeah, that's
breaks
right.
it down and all.
So we were there and we tried just a little bit of the homemade spice that they had, and it was too intense. It was so intense that when my friend went to the bathroom, we put two spoonfuls in his thing, stir it up. When he comes back, he takes one bite and he just starts sweating. And so I'm laughing, I'm like, ha ha, and he's like, dude, you're breaking up. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm breaking up? Like, all right. And then I noticed that I started breaking out in hives. Me, right? This is instant karma there. Or retaliation, whatever it is that we call it here. And it turns out that it had an ingredient that was like making me allergic. So it was kind of like a really, like the both of us are at the pharmacy, him with a little too much
be
spice.
careful of that. Sometimes your throat closes up. But I just added some cumin. I added some cayenne pepper and some kosher salt.
What is cumin, if you don't mind me asking?
It's like a nutty spice.
Got it.
Kind of like similar to nutmeg, and gives like a woody taste to it.
Got it.
So I added that on here, and of course the jalapeno pepper. And every country has their own spice. So we have hot red peppers, the Italians, and we put it on everything, either crushed or we have it marinated in olive oil, and we add it into our food. So, and what I do here, basically, is I just mix it all together. And like I said, you can prepare this ahead of time. Now, what I like to do, instead of just putting it on a tray with some crackers or pita bread or tacos, I add in some crushed pita chips, and I just mix it together.
Wow.
And that just makes it a little bit different. Everyone has to add their little taste, a little flair to it. Make it a little different, because the ingredients are basically the same. It depends on how much spice you like. If you like a little spicy, and you don't want to. I'm just going to like fold them.
I see.
Because I don't want to crush them. You don't want crumbs in there.
Because you want your guests to just pick it right out and eat it.
I see. It's served a little differently. You have to put a little dish with a little spoons and forks.
I understand.
Because it's hard to kind of.
Just put your finger right in there.
And that's what makes this one a little bit different. And then what I do here, I just pass me this tray here.
Yes, there you go.
Put this over here. Put this on the side.
My one contribution to it, I touched the glass. And you put it, I see, you present it like that.
Yeah, just put it on the tray.
How much does presentation matter?
90%.
90%?
When I went to the Culinary Institute, they always told us presentation, presentation, presentation.
Okay.
It's like real estate. It's
location.
location. It's because really, I mean, your eyes and it kind of makes it that looks great. That's why you go to restaurants or you go to to any of the food stores, everything is presented in a very colorful way. I mean, there's color contrast, it looks great. Even when we go to Italy, the gelato, all the different flavors and the colors stand out. So you just kind of...
try to make it nice.
Yeah. And,
So guacamole kind of has that like look of it, that
yes.
it's like a disaster just happened, you know? So it's hard to make it look
So
good,
here
but
we
this
go.
looks in like a big soul of fish.
So here we are. So
Great.
before you taste this, what was it like growing up in Guatemala?
Growing up in Guatemala was wonderful, especially in the household I grew up. I grew up with 3 sisters and my mom. And,
In the city, the country
In the city,
area?
I grew up in the city, but Guatemala City is quite small. It's like a big town.
Okay.
But we, I went to Catholic school, and so growing
Grammar
up,
school?
grammar school, and primary school. We have different, but
Were you
all
an
the way
altar
up to
server?
house. I'm sorry.
Were you an altar server?
I was not,
Oh,
I wasn't. I was too
surprised.
tall. I was too tall for that. But it was a wonderful experience, especially because they really taught us. My moral code comes from growing up in Guatemala, going to Catholic school, and also from my household. We were always taught to do unto others what you would wish.
The golden
yeah,
rule.
the golden rule. And it's like, it really is just moral common sense. And I think they inculcated that in me, and now here we are doing some cool stuff in New York, and that's my moral compass, I guess. And we definitely had guacamole, but it didn't look like this. We didn't have pita chips. I didn't even discover those until I'm over here.
Use tacos.
I used to, we had tortillas. They're
Yeah,
like a little
tortillas,
fatter.
right, exactly.
They're a little fatter than the Mexican tortillas. These are very thin. Ours are like kind of like thick and pudgy. They're not in a diet. You see, like the Mexican ones. You see, we're more like a hearty kind.
Like the Italians.
Yeah, the Italians.
You grew up in a big family, a lot of siblings?
Yeah. I had 3 sisters, my mom, my dad. We had 2 women that worked with us at the house, so I was, surrounded by women my entire life. So you learn how to navigate. When they're in a bad mood, you just move to another room. But it taught me a lot about about writing. The writing that I do these days has a lot to do with what I grew up knowing and avoiding.
Oh, that's great.
Right, Mom?
That's good. Now, did any of your family members come with you here?
No, I'm the only one here. They visit a couple of times a year, and as the career has grown, I've been able to, treat them to a couple of trips, and like I took my mom on a shopping spree for the first time this year, which was wonderful. It was such an adult move to do,
Now tell me, when did you get the call to go into acting? Why that desire?
I was about 4 years old when I was.
Young.
Yeah, I was about 4 years old when I was in A Christmas Carol. They needed a kid to be an extra with a bell, but it was at this massive theater, and I went out, and there was all these people, and I just kind of took center stage, and everybody kind of forgot about the Christmas Carol, and it was all about the little boy with the wing.
An instant star.
And, it took me about 14 years. A Juilliard teacher saw me when I was 16. I performed a monologue, and she inspired me to come to New York. Yeah. So if it wasn't for that, I guess
then
we wouldn't be cooking this wonderful
Guacamole.
food. Yeah. And so is this your favorite Mexican dish? Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay.
I've been just rambling because I'm just mouthing at the mouth, foaming at the mouth.
Then make sure you get a little pita chip with that.
All right, let's get a little pita chip.
A little tomato and
tomato.
avocado.
Okay, ready? Guys.
Crunchy, right?
Oh my God. It's like unicorns singing inside of my taste buds.
Taste all those flavors.
Yeah, I taste a little bit of the onion.
The lime.
The jalapeno too. The lime is also very present.
And the cilantro.
The pita also gives it a wonderful. I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
I
go
really
ahead.
don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. I need to try it twice. But the lime and the cilantro are really making it. Also the onion. Did you just chop up the onion? Did you do nothing to the onion but chop
No, I just chopped it up and just mix it all together, and all the flavors, they just come together. And of course, if you let this sit a little bit too, it gives time for all the flavors to come together and to put out a nice new distinct flavor.
I didn't even know the trick. Well, it's not a trick, I guess, but because avocado does tend to go brown really quickly.
Yes.
I didn't know that it was lime.
No,
that
the
prevented
lime,
it from-
the lime, a little bit of lemon also.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when even when you're cutting up apples or something, you put a little lime or lemon in there, and it slows down the oxidation,
I
so
see.
it doesn't turn brown as quickly.
Great.
But I thank you for being with us, and I know we're going to have you back.
Yeah, definitely.
And,
I can't wait to
we'll
come
talk
meet some
a little
more.
bit more about your acting, but also how you give back through your
Absolutely.
acting.
All right,
and
great,
that's something
fantastic.
that I think people would love to hear about. So,
Wonderful.
And maybe I'll prepare another dish for you.
Sweet.
It's so good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you. Thank you so much for
Thank
you so much for having me. Take care, guys.
Welcome back to Breaking Bread. I'm just finished preparing my shrimp stuffed with crab meat, wrapped with bacon. I'm going to put a little olive oil on top, and then I'm going to bake these in the oven for about 5 or 6 minutes. Now, you don't want to cook them too much because shrimp, as you know, like any fish, if you cook it too much, it gets like rubber. Let's put this in the oven. While that is cooking, I'm now going to prepare a little side dish to put underneath on a bed for the shrimp. Will be a bed of couscous, some lentils, roasted corn, and black beans. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in the pan. That up a little bit. And I roasted some corn. I sauteed it with some paprika and some black pepper. And put that in here. Saute a little bit. And then have some lentils that I just cooked. And I just season them with a little salt and pepper. Over here. Rotate this around a little bit. And then some black beans. Here. Mix that up a little bit. That cooked. The beans obviously are cooked already. The corn I sauteed, and the lentils I cooked also. So we're just really making this warm. Put a little bit of mild oil on top. A little salt and a little pepper. Mix that around a little bit. Simmer a little bit. Come over here and I have my couscous. And I just use couscous you can buy in the store. What you'll do is boil some water. You put in the couscous with a little milk, a little salt, and take it off the flame and just with a spoon mix it around. I prepared this a few minutes ago, so it's still hot. And if you prepare it ahead of time, just before you serve it, you can add a little bit more water to it and just put it back on the flame for a minute, and it'll be ready to go. Put that flame up for a minute. Take this here. It's pretty much cooked, and as I said, it's already cooked. We're just warming it up. Couscous, nice and hot. Turn that off. Bring this over here. And all I do basically, I'm going to now incorporate here. Incorporate my couscous right into the mixture there. Just mix that around, and this serves as a nice bed for the crab stuffed shrimp. Together. And Again, this is another dish that can be prepared ahead of time before your guests arrive. Okay. Let's see how our shrimp are doing. Nice and cooked. As I said, you don't want to cook the shrimp too much because you don't want them to get too much like rubber. So I'm going to put some bit of couscous on the bottom. Here we go. Making a nice dish. You know, a lot of this stuff seems like it takes a lot of time, and it does. But if you time it right, you prepare during the week, and come together to eat a meal, especially with your family. So these days, people don't spend enough time sitting down, having a meal, breaking bread. It's nice to get the family together, and what better way than have a nice meal to go with it. Here we go. Now you can have this as an appetizer, perhaps, or maybe a main course. So on this dish we'll put 2. And, you know, Sundays are days now that people spend at the mall, they spend shopping, they spend playing baseball, basketball. But it's nice to come together and invite family over, have a nice meal together, and break some bread. Here we go. Shrimp stuffed with crab meat over couscous and some roasted corn, black beans, and lentils. If you like this recipe, if you'd like to try it at home, here it is. So here we have another great recipe, and perhaps you would spend some time this week preparing something and maybe bringing the family together for a nice meal. Sit down and break bread together. Until next time, I'm Monsignor Jamie.